The first time I went to Indonesia to shoot kiting was with the Tronolones. We were working on space monkeys, and I remember being a little bit skeptical because every time I'd been to Indonesia before that, it was really glassy everywhere we went, and I really didn't expect there to be a lot of wind.
This is a story about four friends that share one common bond: to push the sport of kiteboarding to the next level.
We weren't even sure if we'd be able to find a wave that was both windy and hollow. You know, you need a pretty specific confluence of variables. You know, the wind can't be too offshore because you can't really kite it if it's too offshore, and if it's too onshore, the wave doesn't really barrel. And so we weren't even sure in the early days whether we'd find waves like that. And honestly, there were only a handful of them that really seemed right for it.
You will find your answers in the surf of Trumengale.
How will we get there, Grail? Come on.
The boys pleaded with the monkey, and then finally he gave the coordinates.
The coordinates are north 37, 59, 52, east 125, 45, 5.
Where is that great one?
It's right there.
There was this holy grail of kite surfing, and that was getting barreled with a kite. Because coming from a surfing background, every surfer knows the best feeling in the world is being in the barrel. And the main thing on everybody's mind was the lines. Was it possible to get in a barrel with these strings going through the lip? And it was a big question. Nobody really knew, and it wasn't until those early space monkeys went there and did the testing and just went for it that we found out that it was indeed possible.
Saw a lot of carnage. You know, the kites were really primitive compared to what we have today. They didn't back up really well. They tend to want to fly over your head and fall. And they had a lot of pull. It was really easy to get dragged down the line and kind of hard to think about getting in a barrel where you were stalling. But we could clearly see the potential. We could really see that given the right day and a refined approach, you were going to get in the barrel, which was unheard of back then.
I remember the first time I saw footage of that wave. It was one of Ben's early movies, and I just remember guys on old sea kites, old slingshot kites, just getting completely barreled and just tripping out. It was back when I didn't realize any of that stuff was possible, and kind of took me a while to get there. It wasn't until a few years after that I finally made it over to that famous left, but I gotta say, when I finally got there, I was pretty stoked, and it's a pretty insane wave.
Getting barreled with a kite is definitely a bit more challenging because you have to do all the same things that you would normally surfing, but then you have this thing in your hand, and then you have this thing in your hand attached to this kite flying, and when you first get there, you're like, oh my god, the thing's about to barrel, you set everything upright, and then you get in the barrel, and you have this thing in your hand, and you don't know what to do with, and you fall.
It was definitely a pretty solid learning phase, trying to learn to get barreled backside. I remember when I first got to Indo the first time, it was difficult. I spent a lot of time those first few days blowing good waves, kind of struggling with my technique, kind of riding in front of barrels, getting lift, and it definitely took its time, but I'm stoked that it all worked out and kind of really like the challenges of trying to ride backside. It's all about setting yourself up right. You want to come from behind the section, line yourself up early, and basically go through the barrel. I like to drop my back leg, grab my rail, and point yourself out of the barrel and use your whole body to stall and take a high line. And if it all goes right, you'll find yourself getting spit out of perfect barrels, and that's what we all want.
Unlike surfing, you don't really have the ability to be in front of the barrel, stall, and back up into it because you have this kite pulling you forward. So it's a lot easier to be deeper and go faster than to be in front of it and slow down. Aside from your positioning, what you want to do with a kite is to get the kite as parallel to the wave as possible. This allows the lines to go out of the barrel rather than drag through the lip. Although the drag from the lines isn't always enough to stop you in your place, over time it will be enough to slow you down and prevent you from making it out of the barrel.
The biggest thing you want to try and remember and try and do is always keep your kite in the air. Keep it flying at all costs and do whatever you can to keep it in the air, and if it does go down, just make sure you get away from it fast. Release the kite, swim away from the lines, because the absolute worst case is you get wrapped in those lines and it's not a fun situation to be in.
It can either go a whole lot worse or a whole lot better. It can make what could be a really bad wipeout a whole lot better because you have the ability to use the kite to keep you from penetrating down under the wave and going through your normal typical surfing wipeout to basically just ejecting out back. You can tuck up, pull the kite left or right, get you up out of the water and into the channel fairly quickly.
That definitely gives you a lot more confidence to basically go out, stuff yourself into some of the deepest, thickest ones you can find.
Time for any sleep when you're laughing along with me. Got you by my side.